Our beautiful planet Earth, home to over 8 billion people, scattered across 7 continents, living in countless cities, towns, and villages. But what if we all lived together in just one place? Imagine every person on Earth, every family, every child, every dreamer, gathered into a single, massive city. What would that world look like? The rest of our world would stand empty, forests growing wild, cities silent, farmlands returning to nature. Our story begins with an idea, a grand experiment. What if humanity decided to build one magnificent city to house everyone? The world's greatest minds came together. They designed towers reaching toward the clouds, transportation systems like rivers of light, and parks woven through steel and glass. And so, the construction began. The greatest building project in human history. A city designed to hold every soul on Earth. People from every corner of the world began their journey. Families packed their belongings, said goodbye to their hometowns, and traveled toward this new beginning. The gates opened, and humanity entered its new home. But as millions poured in, they would soon discover that this dream came with unexpected challenges. The first challenge became immediately clear: space. 8 billion people in one city meant crowds beyond imagination. Every street, every plaza, every square meter was filled with humanity. For children, the mega-city felt like a forest of strangers. Getting separated from family became a constant fear in the endless sea of faces. Transportation became a nightmare. Even with the most advanced systems, moving millions of people every day created traffic jams that stretched for hours. With so many people, vehicles, and industries concentrated in one place, the air became heavy with pollution. The once clear sky turned gray and thick. People had to wear masks just to breathe. Fresh air became a luxury, a memory of the world that used to be. To fit everyone, buildings stretched impossibly high. Families lived in tiny apartments, thousands of floors above the ground, where sunlight rarely reached. Personal space became a forgotten concept. Entire families shared rooms barely larger than a closet. Privacy was impossible. Feeding 8 billion people from one location created massive challenges. Lines for food stretched for miles, and waiting hours for basic supplies became daily routine. Fresh water became scarce. The demand was so great that reservoirs ran dangerously low. Every drop had to be carefully rationed. Children who had never seen fountains flow or rivers run wondered what their parents meant when they spoke of water that moved freely. 8 billion people created mountains of waste. Garbage piled higher than buildings. The city's recycling systems, despite their sophistication, couldn't keep up. Healthcare systems struggled under the weight of millions. Hospitals were always full, and medical staff worked day and night to help everyone in need. Waiting for medical care could take days. Parents held their sick children, hoping their turn would come soon, praying for help in the overwhelmed system. The noise never stopped. Millions of conversations, vehicles, machines, and sounds blended into a constant roar that echoed through every street. Silence became impossible to find. The constant noise wore people down, making it hard to think, to rest, to find even a moment of peace. The megacity's infrastructure groaned under constant use. Roads cracked, pipes burst, and buildings showed signs of strain from supporting so many people. The power grid, even with the most advanced technology, struggled to provide electricity to billions. Rolling blackouts became common. When the power failed, entire districts went dark. Families huddled by candlelight, waiting for the electricity to return, never knowing when it would come back on. Education became a challenge. Classrooms held hundreds of students, making individual attention impossible. Learning became a struggle for many young minds. Children stood on their toes, hoping to glimpse the lesson board. Dreams of learning competed with the simple challenge of being able to see. The constant crowds, noise, and stress took a toll on mental health. Even surrounded by billions, people felt more alone than ever. Cultural landmarks, museums, and historical sites became impossible to visit. With billions wanting to experience them, they closed to prevent damage, and culture became something people only read about. As humanity concentrated in one place, the animals they left behind struggled. Habitats remained undisturbed, but many species that depended on human-wildlife balance faded away. Nature disappeared from daily life. No trees, no flowers, no grass, only concrete and steel. Children grew up never touching soil or seeing wild animals. A child asked their parent, "What is a tree?" The parent could only point to pictures, explaining a world the child would never know. Even in a single city, inequality found a way. The wealthy lived in gleaming towers above, while the poor struggled in the crowded levels below. Families in the lower levels worked tirelessly, but opportunity seemed distant. The dream of rising higher felt as impossible as touching the sky. Emergency services faced impossible odds. With billions to protect, firefighters, police, and paramedics couldn't reach everyone in time. When emergencies struck, help often came too late. The sheer number of people in need meant that waiting became a painful reality. Communication systems buckled under the strain. Billions trying to call, message, and connect simultaneously created constant network failures. Staying connected with loved ones, even within the same city, became difficult. Networks crashed, messages failed to send, and people felt more isolated than ever. Regional cultures and traditions began to blend and fade. The unique flavors, languages, and customs that made different places special slowly disappeared into uniformity. Elders held photographs of the places they once called home: mountains, valleys, seaside villages. They shared stories of places that no longer had anyone to remember them. With everyone in one location, weather events affected everyone at once. A single storm, earthquake, or heat wave could threaten all of humanity. Climate control systems tried to manage the city's environment, but they couldn't always succeed. Heat waves and cold snaps affected billions at once. When illness appeared, it spread like wildfire through the dense population. A single sick person could affect thousands within days. Quarantine became a way of life. Entire districts sealed off, families separated, as the city fought to contain diseases that spread through the crowded masses. For the young, the sense of adventure died. There was nowhere to explore, nowhere to discover. The whole world had become one familiar place. Every day looked the same crowded streets, the same gray buildings, the same faces in the crowd. Life became an endless loop of familiarity. As challenges mounted, hope began to fade. People wondered if this experiment was a mistake, if bringing everyone together had actually pushed them apart. But then, something began to change. People started to see the challenges not as endings, but as opportunities. And they remembered why they came together in the first place. The mega city forced people to work together in ways never before possible. Neighbors from completely different cultures became friends, united by shared challenges. With all of humanity's brightest minds in one place, innovation exploded. Scientists from every nation worked side by side, sharing knowledge freely. Medical breakthroughs came faster than ever. When every medical expert could easily collaborate, cures for diseases were discovered in months instead of decades. Children who would have suffered now received cutting-edge treatments. Lives were saved because the world's medical knowledge was finally united. Technology leapt forward. Renewable energy, clean water systems, and sustainable food production advanced rapidly when every engineer and inventor could share ideas instantly. Engineers developed revolutionary clean energy systems. The mega city became a testing ground for technologies that could power the world without pollution. As clean energy took over, the sky began to clear. For the first time in years, people saw blue sky above the mega city. Innovative vertical farms produced fresh food for billions. Using minimal space and water, these green towers ensured no one went hungry. Food distribution became remarkably efficient. Advanced systems ensured fresh produce reached every neighborhood within hours of harvest. Children who had only known processed food tasted fresh fruit for the first time. Nutrition improved, and with it, health across the entire population. Scientists developed advanced water purification that could clean and recycle water perfectly. The water crisis ended, and everyone had access to fresh, clean water. Fountains flowed again. Children who had never seen running water played and splashed, experiencing the simple joy their grandparents remembered. Transportation evolved dramatically. High-speed, multi-level systems, powered by AI, moved millions efficiently. Traffic jams became a thing of the past. Commutes that once took hours now took minutes. People arrived at work refreshed rather than exhausted, with time for what truly mattered. Architects designed green spaces throughout the city, vertical gardens, rooftop forests, and sky parks. Nature returned to daily life. Children who had never touched soil learned to plant gardens. They watched seeds grow into flowers, connecting with nature in ways they never thought possible. Living together sparked incredible cultural exchange. Festivals celebrated traditions from every corner of the world. People learned languages, shared foods, and embraced diversity. Education transformed. Children learned from teachers and peers representing every culture on Earth, gaining perspectives that made them true citizens of the world. Technology revolutionized learning. AI tutors provided personalized education for every child. ensuring no one fell behind, regardless of background. Every student had the opportunity to excel. Children who might have been overlooked discovered talents they never knew they had. Artists from every tradition collaborated, creating works that blended styles from across the globe. Art became a universal language, understood by all. Healthcare became truly universal. Advanced systems and shared resources meant everyone, regardless of background, received the same excellent medical care. With everyone monitored by advanced health systems, diseases were detected and prevented before they spread. Epidemics became history. Resource sharing became the norm. Instead of everyone owning everything, communities shared tools, vehicles, and equipment, reducing waste dramatically. Advanced recycling systems achieved near-perfect efficiency. Almost nothing went to waste. The garbage mountains shrank as everything found new purpose. The megacity became an example of sustainable living. Clean air, recycled water, renewable energy, proof that billions could live together without destroying the planet. Emergency services became incredibly efficient. Predictive AI and strategic positioning meant help arrived within minutes, no matter where in the city. Communities formed strong safety networks. Neighbors looked out for each other, and the massive population meant someone was always nearby to help. Mental health services expanded dramatically. Support was always available, and the stigma faded as everyone recognized that caring for minds was as important as caring for bodies. Advanced social systems helped people find others who shared their interests. Even in a city of billions, no one had to feel alone. Friendships formed across every boundary. People who would never have met in the old world became inseparable friends, bound by shared experiences and dreams. Scientific discoveries accelerated beyond imagination. What would have taken generations in the old world now happened in years, as every expert could collaborate instantly. With all of humanity's resources focused together, space exploration advanced rapidly. The megacity became humanity's launching point to the stars. Elders became treasured teachers, sharing wisdom from every culture. Young people learned from experiences spanning the entire world, gaining understanding no single place could provide. Children grew up never knowing the old divisions. To them, every person was simply a neighbor, a friend, a fellow citizen of the megacity and the world. Global problems could finally be solved globally. Climate change, poverty, disease, challenges that once divided nations became projects that united all of humanity. The megacity found its balance. Challenges were met with innovation, problems solved with cooperation, and differences celebrated as strengths. Was it easy? No. Did everyone live in one city perfectly? Not at first. But humanity learned, adapted, and grew in ways they never could have apart. They discovered that proximity breeds not just challenges, but understanding. That diversity, when embraced, creates strength. That together, they could solve anything. The Earth changed too. Nature reclaimed the abandoned places, growing wild and free. Animals returned to forests and oceans. The planet breathed easier. So, what if all humans lived in a single city? Perhaps we would face our greatest challenges, but we might also discover our greatest potential. The power of 8 billion hearts beating as one.